Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, The Silly Ghost. Following on from a video that I made last year, highlighting my favourite films from 2001 that marked 20 years since they first came out in cinemas, I figured I'd make a similar video before 2022 ends, this time highlighting my favourite films from 2002 and the fact that they are 20 years old now. Oh boy. Nostalgia, here we come. The first movie on this list that can now be considered 20 years old is none other than Spider-Man. The first Spidey film in the trilogy directed by Sam Raimi, we as the audience got to see our favourite web-slinger come to life. Showcasing Peter Parker's transformation into Spidey.
Go, Web! Fly! Up, up, and away, Web! Shazam!
How he learns that with great power comes great responsibility.
These are the years when a man changes into the man he's going to become the rest of his life. Just be careful who you change into. This guy, Flash Thompson, he probably deserved what happened. But just because you can beat him up doesn't give you the right to. Remember, with great power comes great responsibility.
And the epic fights and dialogue he has with his arch nemesis, the Green Goblin.
You and I are not so different.
I'm not like you. You're a murderer.
Well, to each his own. I chose my path, you chose the way of the hero. And they found you amusing for a while, the people of this city. But the one thing they love more than a hero is to see a hero fail, fall, die trying. In spite of everything you've done for them, eventually they will hate you. Why bother?
I will never forget being on the edge of my seat when I first saw Spidey and Green Goblin come head to head.
Hello, my dear.
It's Spider-Man!
Impressive!
And who would have thought back then just how much of an impact some of the lines would go on to have in today's meme culture?
You know, I'm something of a scientist myself.
I missed the part where that's my problem.
Apologies for being a bit biased, but as a kid of the early 2000s, Tobey Maguire will always be my favourite Spider-Man, and Willem Dafoe's performance as the Green Goblin is second to none. It still gives me the chills to this day. And it was an incredible treat to see both Tobey and Willem reprise their respective roles in last year's Spider-Man No Way Home. Overall, it's a classic. Number 2, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets.
Now all we need to do is catch up with the train.
We can't be far behind.
Do you hear that?
We must be getting close.
Hold on.
The second installment of the Harry Potter film franchise, and based off the second book in the Harry Potter book series, we are once again sucked back into the Wizarding World where young Harry endures his second year at Hogwarts. With a good mix of high school drama,
Scared Potter.
You wish.
magical creatures,
You grasp your mandrake firmly, you pull it sharply up out of the box.
mystery,
Professor, what exactly does legend tell us lies within the chamber? But the chamber is said to be home to something that only the heir of Slytherin can control. It is said to be the home of a monster.
And unravelling plot twists. This is a top favourite of mine out of the other Harry Potter flicks, mainly because it genuinely gave me a good scare as a kid whenever Harry heard the basilisk in the walls before finding a student frozen in a petrified state. That was serious nightmare fuel for me, more so than seeing the actual basilisk and giant spiders. And let's not forget about Dobby.
You shall not harm Harry Potter!
Sorry I'm late.
There's no Hogwarts without you, Hagrid.
Number 3. Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo, what are you doing, man? Like this is no time to... Like there's a ghost right behind me, isn't there?
I remember my brother telling me one day 20 years ago that we were going out to the movies to see Scooby-Doo. I had absolutely no idea what he was talking about, since I had never heard of Scooby-Doo until then, but once we got settled into our seats at the cinema and the movie started playing, we couldn't stop laughing, especially with any scene with Shaggy and Scooby in it.
Oh, we don't go near any place with spooky, haunted, forbidden, or creepy in the name.
Well, hydrochloric?
Right, or hydroclonic, but that's for a whole different reason, man. Pull my finger. Uh-oh, too late. You're in trouble.
Oh boy.
I'm not stopping till you're first singed off.
No. Okay. Hello.
Scooby-Doo, you feeling okay?
Oh no!
Here you go, dude. Like how that tastes, man.
Delicious.
Well, Garcon, let's get 2 more. On the count of 3. 1,
2, 3.
When my family and I went to Movie World, the Scooby-Doo ride was almost the only ride I would go on, to the point where our mum swore she would never take us to any theme parks ever again. Fun fact, Scooby-Doo was filmed in Australia on the Gold Coast, where Movie World is, and the set of Spooky Island was Tangalooma Island Resort on Moreton Island in Queensland. Seems like a nice place I would want to go for a holiday one day. Number 4. Ice Age.
Where's the baby? There he is. Where's the baby? There he is!
Another one of those animated movies that had the right balance of humour that appeals to both kids and adults, Ice Age follows the main story of Manny the Mammoth, Sid the Sloth, and Diego the Saber-toothed Tiger as they journey across the icy landscape to deliver a baby back to his tribe. It also follows the side adventure of Scrat, who can't seem to find a good place anywhere to put his acorn without causing some sort of major accident. Number 5. Star Wars: Attack of the Clones.
Well, you've lost him.
I'm deeply sorry, Master.
That was some shortcut, Anakin. He went completely the other way. Once again, you've proved...
If you'll excuse me... I hate it when he does that.
The second installment of the Star Wars prequel trilogy, written and directed by George Lucas, Attack of the Clones features Academy Award-winning romantic dialogue such as this.
I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere. Not like here. Here everything is soft and smooth.
Diamonds used to sparkle. Night has grown much darker. Death has come to kiss me.
No. I shouldn't have done that.
I'm sorry.
And this.
From the moment I met you, all those years ago, not a day has gone by when I haven't thought of you. And now that I'm with you again, I'm in agony. The closer I get to you, the worse it gets. The thought of not being with you, I can't breathe. I'm haunted by the kiss that you should never have given me. My heart is beating, hoping that that kiss will not become a scar. You are in my very soul, tormenting.
It also features a lot of amazing sassy moments by Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan.
Then we decided to come and rescue you.
Good job.
Plenty of blaster and lightsaber battles, CGI and visual effects that were ahead of the times.
My legs aren't moving. I must need maintenance.
Awesome world building as we're introduced to new planets and alien species. And of course Yoda finally showing us he's still got the moves at 800 something years old. Speaking as a massive Star Wars fan, this movie may not have been well received when it first came out, but over the years, since we've been treated to a lot of new Star Wars content centered around the Clone Wars prequel era, it has helped add an extra layer of depth to the events that take place throughout Attack of the Clones, and even The Phantom Menace and Revenge of the Sith, which has served to make it a very important piece to the Skywalker saga of Star Wars films. Plus, can you imagine a world where Star Wars prequel memes didn't exist? Yeah, neither can I. And number 6, Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers.
Oh, come on, we can take him.
It's a long way.
Toss me.
What?
I cannot jump the distance, you'll have to toss me. Don't tell the elf.
Not a word.
The second installment of the Lord of the Rings trilogy, directed by Peter Jackson, The Two Towers continues the journey of the characters we have come to know and love from the Fellowship of the Ring. As I mentioned in the last video about movies from 2001, I wasn't allowed to watch Lord of the Rings until much later. But when I eventually watched it, Two Towers was just as enjoyable as the first movie, with the stakes feeling much higher as the future of Middle-earth hangs in the balance. The Battle of Helm's Deep was one of the biggest highlights for me, as it showcased the races of men and elves all coming together to fight overwhelming odds of Uruk-hai, King Theoden charging out on horse right into the swarming mass of the enemy, and ending with Gandalf's entrance as he arrives with backup.
I can't do this, Sam. I know. It's all wrong. By rights, we shouldn't even be here. But we are. It's like in the great stories, Mr. Frodo. The ones that really mattered. Full of darkness and danger they were. And sometimes you didn't want to know the end. Because how could the end be happy? How could the world go back to the way it was when so much bad had happened? But in the end, it's only a passing thing. This shadow. Even darkness must pass. A new day will come. And when the sun shines, it'll shine out the clearer. Those were the stories that stayed with you. That meant something. Even if you were too small to understand why. But I think, Mr. Frodo, I do understand. I know now. Folk in those stories had lots of chances of turning back, only they didn't. They kept going. Because they were holding on to something. What are we holding on to, Sam? There's some good in this world, Mr. Frodo. And it's worth fighting for.
Overall, some really good films came out in 2002. I hope you've enjoyed this trip down nostalgia lane with me, and I'll see you guys again next time. I'm your host, The Silly Ghost, signing out.